Hi, today I'll show you how Superblocks and Databricks work together to allow users to build production-ready internal applications leveraging Lakebase. We've built a native integration so you can connect your existing Lakebase tables or have Clark AI generate new schemas and tables directly in your Lakebase instance. Clark leverages a Unity catalog for governance out of the box, and it can build the UI and wire everything together for you. Clark can also connect to Lakehouse, Mosaic AI, Lakeflow, or any of the other Databricks products alongside Lakebase, all within the same application. You can deploy to Databricks apps, and your business users can build and iterate without having to wait on engineering. Let me show you what this looks like in a real use case. So let's pretend we're an operations manager at Rivian. Every day I need to open this spreadsheet to understand where we stand on purchase orders and parts inventory across our plant. We've got two tabs down here where we manually import data, one for parts inventory and one for our POs. And then we have this dashboard page where the team views an overview of everything. But because it's a spreadsheet, we cannot track changes. People don't follow the correct flow, multiple people have different copies, and it takes way too long to manage. We commonly see companies like Rivian move these sheets to Superblocks by simply importing the sheet and letting Clark or AI rebuild it. You describe what you want, Clark generates the application, and it solves all the problems we were just talking about. Change tracking, enforced workflows, role-based access, plus it gives you a lot more functionality you couldn't build in a spreadsheet. Now, a common issue for teams converting sheets is that they need a transactional database to store the data within the sheet, along with all the new tables that are used to track the state of the application. Things like approval histories, audit logs, status transitions. A spreadsheet has no concept of any of this. Clark handles this too, and it generates a database schema to match the app. If we look at this application, you can see it has everything from the spreadsheet. We have all our information in metric cards. We have two different tables that are actually clickable, and it gives you a sidebar to look at more information. Down here, we can see all of our critical information, and now we can filter it very easily. If I need to create new POs, I have this button to open another slide out, and it follows the workflow that we are presenting to the user. Everyone follows the same flow, and it's way easier to manage. You're able to create multi-page applications, so we have parts inventory where we see all of our parts. We have purchase orders, which we're allowed to use a kanban board to move this through. Let's search for a PO here and take a look at how it works. Here, let's submit for approval. It moves over. We can drag it to approved, we can mark it shipped, and maybe we want to bring it back to approval. All of this now follows a flow. All of it can be tracked in our database. And now as a team, we have complete control of how this all works. So let's enter build mode. And on the left side, I'm going to open up the Clark panel. We can start chatting. In this case, I'm going to ask Clark to design a data model for my app. I'll type, starting with the dashboard page, create me a schema and tables to store app data and state. Use the Rivian Lakebase data source for this. As I type, you'll notice that I use the @ symbol, and I can tag specific data sources that have been shared with me. This makes sure Clark knows exactly where to create the schemas and tables. Clark starts by inspecting the Rivian Lakebase connection. It's looking at the existing schemas and tables in that Lakebase so it understands what it's working with. And if we take a look, you'll see first we have an overview where again it highlights the data source we're using, which is Lakebase. It tells us the schemas and tables it's going to create. It can data seed or essentially create fake data for us, and it's also going to look at the relationship and constraints. Let's hit build it and see what we do. So it looks like it's giving us step 1. To the right side, we have our workflow builder. We have one step, which is create schema. And on the right side, we can see the SQL to create our schema. This looks good, so I'm going to hit yes and build it. Now it's going to give us our second step, which is to create our first table. Let's click on this new API. We have our create table statement with a few different columns. This looks good, and hit yes to build it. Now we should go through a few more of these. Let's look at the supplier table, hit yes, build it. Our parts table, we can hit yes, and we can do the same thing with the next few. So now it looks like it's moving on to insert data into our tables. If we look at this API, we can see that it's adding fake data into our categories table. This is good. We can also do this with the CSV that we had earlier. Because of this, I'm going to hit no here, and I'm not going to allow it to test this and run it. I'll stop this generation, and we can let Clark know that we will upload our CSV to inject data next. Now let's take a look at what's happening in Lakebase. So over here, we can see that it did create our schema called procurement. We have our 4 different tables that we created, and up top, we can see the different columns that have been created for each of these different tables. Once we upload our CSV and add our data, all of that will be here as well. So that's how you can use Superblocks to build applications directly on your Lakebase data source. If you have any questions, please reach out to Superblocks team. We're here to help and excited to see what you can build.